What's up, True Heel Heat? True Heel Heat.
What's up? True Heel Heat.
Hello, everyone. It's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah.
Hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat YouTube and Twitter for our WWE Elimination Chamber 2022 Roundtable Review.
Extreme Rules, not Elimination Chamber.
Excuse me. I always get those. Elimination Chamber, Extreme Rules. You see how the day's gonna go. WWE Extreme Rules 2022 Roundtable Review, talking about the big event from WWE from Philadelphia last night. I am here with the Master of Ceremonies, usually on Sundays at this time, the co-host of Serving Face and Heels. You see her over at SE Scoops and the most positive Twitter account in all of wrestling community. She is Stephanie Hypes.
What's up? See, I'm here. I got your back, man. That's what I'm here for. I got your back.
I appreciate that. If I was doing this alone, then we would have got like at least 10-15 minutes
Elimination
into the show. Me saying it was the Elimination Chamber until I realized, oh shoot, I said the wrong thing. It took me a lot longer. I appreciate it. Sometimes people just leave people hanging, and you could have waited until you started talking, but you went right in there. I appreciate that.
No problem. I was like, this is gonna say it at least 3 more times. I just know it. I'm gonna go ahead and jump in. It's fine.
I'm gonna go over and jump in, help him out because he needs some help right now. But yes, we are here to discuss WWE Elimination Chamber.
Extreme Rules.
See, I'm up to a grand start. You can see where my head's at. WWE Extreme Rules from last night. The social media verse has been a storm after last night. We are here to discuss it. We appreciate you all for joining us and not tearing me a new one for getting the name wrong for the show twice. Leave us a thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, if you're watching us on Twitter, retweet the post for the video as we talk about WWE Extreme Rules. You got Vala B telling me, come on, dude, twice,
dude.
I did it twice.
Vala B, it's okay. My kid's live edit button. It's fine.
I appreciate you for that.
Hi, hey, girl.
Keep those comments coming in the live chat. We'll try to highlight as many of your comments as possible. But of course, super chat donations is the best way to support the channel. Also, to give your thoughts on last night's show. We got Queen Mo in the live chat. Like I said before, we got Vala B. Hassan is here with us. So got the good eggs in the live chat already. So I said this to Stephanie Hayes before we started this whole conversation. Before we get into things, name one word to describe your feelings on last night's WWE Extreme Rules pay-per-view.
There he goes. My one word.
Yeah.
Ecstatic.
I will say GOAT. Something on the show was one of the best things that WWE has done in this past decade. So without further ado, we're not going to let this be an elephant in the room. Let's get right into the big talking point from WWE Elimination Chamber. Remember, share with your friends and let them sound off as we're going to talk about this White Rabbit mystery finally coming to an end. At the beginning of the show, during our opening contest, during the first entrance of the show, there was an 8-bit video similar to the one that we saw on SmackDown with the White Rabbit going to the purple X mark and going down to hell and fire shooting up throughout the night. We saw various teases like a White Rabbit in the crowd or a White Rabbit taking pictures with the crowd outside the building before the show. And then finally the end of the night came, and after the main event, the lights went out. You had Michael Cole be like, "What the hell?"
It's not even that. They put up the
Yeah, they took the NXT,
the copyright.
the NXT route where they put the copyright and you think the show is
Yeah,
over.
or
They
like,
did that with
"It's
Gargano and Ciampa. They did that
Yep.
with DIY before Ciampa turned.
Yep.
So they put the graphic, and I was like, "Oh, you think you slick? I know it's not over." And then the lights went out.
They doing this right now? I was like, are they really gonna let the Philly crowd not have Bray? Because I was afraid of a riot. I didn't know what was gonna break out. I was like, oh my god, they're really ending the show. And Joel's like, okay, it's over. I'm like, my husband, it's over. And I'm like, is it? I'm like, oh my, okay, I guess it is. And as soon as I was about to stand up, lights go out.
Lights go out. Everybody's got on their phone lights. You had kind of hear Michael Cole kind of feigning confusion, and then we hear over the sound speaker, "He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands." Then we had spotlights in the crowd to show us physical embodiments of the characters from the Firefly Funhouse. We had Huskus the pig in the crowd. Then we had Mercy the buzzard in the crowd. We had Ramblin' Rabbit in the crowd, which looked freaky as hell. If I saw this and I was a kid, I'd be scared shitless. Scared shitless. We then had Sister Abigail in the crowd. We had a burnt Fiend mask that legitimately made Michael Cole shit his pants, as well as Corey Graves. Then finally, the last physical embodiment that we got was the actual Fiend in the crowd. The lights went down again as the singing of "He's Got the Whole World in His Hand" kind of stopped. Then on the stage, a spotlight showed, and we saw the door to the Firefly Funhouse. The door shoots open, and a light shoots out. Kind of very similar to the Brody Lee AEW packages that they did. I
wonder if that was a tribute to him.
I would love to find that out. Then the light goes out, and then the torch. We see the torch, the crowd. The crowd's going crazy. We also see a video of the Firefly Funhouse in ruins. Everything's dead. We see on a TV a grainy video of this man in a devil type mask telling us who killed the world. We all know who killed the world. You did, and he did. And the devil mask man came out with the torch. You could hear the anticipation. Every little thing got a big pop, whether it was Huskus the pig, whether it was Sister Abigail, Mercy, Ramblin' Rabbit. Huge pop for the Fiend in the crowd. Huge pop for the door. Huge pop for the light. Huge pop for the torch. Huge pop for this. And then finally, the biggest pop of the night. Holy shit, chance, as Bray Wyatt removes the mask and reveals that he is the person behind the White Rabbit mystery. Finally, he comes close to the camera and he says, "I'm here," and then blows out the torch. And we see the new Wyatt logo. One of the greatest WWE returns of all time. Just anticipation, buzz, reaction, production. There was no way Bray Wyatt could do this anywhere else than WWE. It just felt right. It felt special. And now all we are worried about, because we've been down this road with Bray Wyatt having spectacular return or debut before, all we wait for is the follow-up. But in a vacuum, what did you think about Bray Wyatt's return?
Holy shit. No, I look, like, just you going back over it gave me goosebumps all over again. Like, so my biggest thing, and I've said this before, I wasn't the biggest Fiend fan. And it could have been because of the way he was booked, but I was a big Bray Wyatt, Wyatt family, Eater of All Worlds, like that. I was a fan of that. I love that Bray Wyatt. So when he came out with the lantern, because remember with the Fiend, the lantern was gone. It was the head of Bray Wyatt, remember?
Yes.
So when he came out with the lantern, I popped so loud because I was like, oh, the lantern's back. And then he took the mask off and it's Bray, right? And I was like, oh my God, it's Bray. Like, I was just so happy. I have like so many thoughts about this. Like, first of all, just to your point, the creativity that went into all of this, I absolutely love. And I wish they would put that much effort into several different returns and things going forward, because it gets people engaged. And even though, yes, I think most of us figured out it was going to be Bray, you know, like we figured it out probably weeks ago, if not months ago. So, but that didn't mean it wasn't fun, right? Like, we still had fun with it. You're still scanning QR codes. You're still looking in the audience for things. You're still looking for clues. Like, it was like a live episode of Blue, like a creepy Blue's Clues, right? Like, it was awesome. It was awesome. And the way it was executed was perfection. I mean, perfection. I have to give a shout out to Michael Cole and Corey Graves, because they did not over commentate that moment. You heard Michael Cole say, "Are we still on air? What's going on? Are we still on air?" Like, confusion. It gave a sense of realness to what was happening, because you hear them thinking they're supposed to be off, and they're like, "What? Are we still here?" And I think you might have heard him go, "Oh, what the," right? But that was about it. Everything else, he just let everyone just sit in, soak it up, wherever, however you were going to soak it in, and just react how you were going to react. And they let us hear the audience, right? Because at home, I'm sure, at least for me, I was yelping as loud as possible. I was so loud. So they just let you live in that moment, and I thought that was perfect. Vince era, you would have heard Michael Cole probably go, "Oh my God," like over and over again, and we wouldn't have heard anything. And so I love that they let us sit in that. And like, again, the execution of all of it, to the point of the QR codes leading to this, that was Bray's song, or leading to this, that was some huge bunny in the mountains somewhere. Like, it was just wonderful. It was wonderfully done. Wonderfully done. Like, to your point, I think you said the best thing they've done in decades. It literally is. It was wonderful.
Best return. It's right up there with, I would say, Edge at Royal Rumble 2020. Yeah. Punk, I think Punk was it's totally different. I think that these two returns, if you had me compare Punk and Bray Wyatt, is two totally different.
It is different. I'm talking about the loudness and reaction.
Punk was louder, because those Chicago people love seeing Punk. But that's why I just want to compare this to other WWE returns. I would say it's just as loud as like Edge at the Royal Rumble. Triple H, I was there live at Madison Square Garden. This was as loud as that. But the reason I said that the Wyatt and Punk returns are so different is because Punk's return was shredded in reality. It was all about the reality of the situation. 7 years, this man's been gone. He's finally coming home to professional wrestling. Where Bray Wyatt, it's 100% production and creativity. It's nothing to do with the reality. Because if it was about the reality, people would think more about, okay, how do we follow up this? But it's about the being stuck in the moment. Like you said, I think that's the best thing that you said, that WWE did a great job of letting you just get totally engrossed in that moment. And we have a super chat donation here from Vala B. Thank you so much, Vala B, saying Bray made this a show to remember, but if that didn't happen, we'd be having a very different convo over the show. But my God, Bray's reveal is for life. And literally, the reason I love this super chat, Stephanie, I think that's exactly what I said to you.
He literally just said that. Like, he was like, the most memorable thing from this pay-per-view is going to be Bray and his return, because again, I mean, if we're really talking about it, it was all about him in the first place. So I think most of us were watching through the show. Don't get me wrong, I was excited for other things, but most of us think we're just watching how they executed this return. And again, it was done beautifully. To Sid's point, you do worry about follow-up. How do you book someone like Bray, right? The reason why the Fiend didn't work for me is because he had like all these powers, but he wouldn't win anything, and like, or he just like DQ himself, and I'm just like, I don't what. Not that I'm saying he needs a title, but you need to watch how you book him. Do I feel way more confident with Triple H in charge of that? Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and I feel like Bray has a lot more control under Triple H about how this is going to go. So, I'm hopeful this time for him. But I'm very happy for him. I'm happy he's back. I'm happy for us that he's back. There's no one who has the creativity that Bray does. Nobody.
Yeah. And I don't even really think, I know there's a lot of people that said the issue with the Fiend is that, you know, he won the title and he shouldn't be going after titles. I think that the biggest issue with the Fiend that made us remember the original Bray Wyatt character is that he did exactly what the original Bray Wyatt character did, is he promised something and then didn't deliver on it. He promised he would beat Seth at the Hell in a Cell, and then they ended the Hell in a Cell in a no contest. That was it, pretty much. It was like, it was all downhill from there, because the introduction
for Seth and him,
the introduction, absolutely, the Firefly Funhouse stuff, the presentation of the Fiend was so on point up until he made his entrance into the Hell in a Cell in 2019. Like, it was so well done until he basically made a promise that he couldn't come through on. Regardless of what the Fiend does, title or not, he needs to do that. That would be the biggest difference between this Bray Wyatt under the Triple H regime and the Vince McMahon Wyatt, is if he makes a promise, he has to follow through. Triple H, just make sure of that.
It keeps him powerful, and people compare him to the modern day Undertaker, and they're like, well, how'd they book Undertaker? And it's like, it's a little different, because Undertaker, while he had the, you know, the fire and the whatever, he wasn't completely supernatural, right? He was like real with like this power to do fire, and, you know, he'd sit up randomly after kicking his ass, whatever it was, right? It's different. So you have to, like, the Undertaker was able to lose, if that makes sense. Clean. And the Undertaker was able to lose matches. Did it happen often? Not until maybe towards the end of his career, right? But they kept him strong for decades.
And people also have to realize that for 6 years, The Undertaker did not do the majority of his own talking. So he was able to retain that aura. There was different with the Undertaker type of route. I would never want the Bray Wyatt to go down that route because he's a great talker. So he's more of a mix of the spookiness of the Undertaker meets the eloquentness of Raven. That's what Bray Wyatt has always been, and that's been his strength and his strong point. When they try to make him too much of the Undertaker, that's where WWE runs the risk of you know, getting this stuff wrong.
Absolutely. So we'll obviously we'll see. Again, I have more hope with Triple H. But man, that was something last night. I've watched it maybe 2 or 3 times already.
I had to watch it like 2 or 3 times to get like each point of this, but it was so well done. I think I remembered it after even the first time of just watching it.
I have to ask you, so the way I took it, because there were some reports about what they were going to do and how they were going to do it, and they might reveal some of it and blah, 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 whatever. They might reveal some of it or part of it. And I'm like, do you think those are actual wrestlers playing the people in the funhouse? Because, do you see what I'm saying? Because there was that whole Wyndham 6 thing. So I'm like, I think that might actually be a thing. I think those are actual wrestlers. That's how I took it. And so last night I was trying to figure out who's who. And someone pointed out with Sister Abigail. I had assumed it was Alexa. And it still might be. But they showed, if you go back to that Sister Abigail picture you had, there are 2 women's titles sitting next to her. And you can't, this one's kind of cut off, but there's a better picture showing both of them. And so I thought they were fans, but someone's like, those weren't there before, who was there in the live audience. So, and the only woman that's won both the SmackDown and Raw championship that would already be a part of this would be Alexa Bliss. So, is it? I don't know. We were talking about Corbin. People were throwing out Gacy. I think someone said Grayson Waller kind of looked like the buzzard. So I'm curious to see who he bring, if they're going to do a group or, you know, kind of another Wyatt family or whatever you want to call it. I'm curious to see who he brings with him to bring up. Bray Wyatt likes to bring up people, so I'm very curious to see who.
I don't know if the introductions here was supposed to have like symbolism to make you figure out like who's behind the mask. I do know that the people behind the mask last night were kind of like extras from what I saw online. But I mean, I'm down for the Wyatt 6 stable if it's gonna be done right. If it's gonna be done the right way. And like I said, the biggest thing with Bray Wyatt, he makes a promise, just follow through on it. That's all I need. I don't really care about the extra stuff. All I need is that this Bray Wyatt has to keep his promises. That's all I need. I do like this shout, though. I've been calling this for, I think, a better part of 6 years. I've been saying Bo Dallas should join the Wyatt family. I said that like years ago.
Yeah. I think, I agree. I really do think it's going to be a group. I'm very curious to see who he brings up. And Bo Dallas would be an awesome surprise. We haven't seen him in so long. Obviously, it's his brother. And again, I would like to see some NXT folks come up. That like Gacy, I think would be perfect as far as the way his whole aura, I think would fit well. Some people have said Corbin, but I don't know if Corbin really fits in there like that. Grayson Waller, as some people said,
I wouldn't think Grayson Waller is Australian Miz. I don't think that fits in with what Wyatt is doing. Man, come on. You see Grayson Waller week after week on Tuesday and tell me he doesn't come off. He doesn't give you those Australian Miz vibes.
No, I mean, not even that. It's like, I mean, it's a character, so if he wants to try and play a character, we'll see. I don't know. But I'm sure Bray has scouted who he wants to scout. I don't know if y'all saw, but well, I guess we'll get into that after we talk about Liv. But Liv looked like she was going a little nuts. So, and her whole Twitter and socials are blocked out now, all of a sudden. So,
this is true. And could be that. Could be that as well. We got Alex. He says, I wasn't a fan of The Fiend, but I'm so happy and so excited to see him back. I think we're all in agreement with that. Will Chisholm says, they brought in a horror writer in just for Bray. Yeah, the Rob.
Oh, did they? That's what Rob. Okay, I was like, I didn't know if he was a horror writer or just a writer for Bray. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
I like how he tweeted last night. He's like, something good happened on the. I was like, stop it.
He like. I hear y'all. I see y'all reaction. Let me brush my shoulder off real quick with this tweet right here. Queen Mo says, I think Alexa is Abby because they had the Raw and SmackDown titles next to Abby, and she's the first to win both.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not one of those people that tries to read into everything. I have kids and I have baby brain, so that's really tough for me to do any of that.
It's tough for me too. That's why other people pointed it out, and I was like, "Ooh, that's good."
Yeah.
I was like, I did not see that.
I did not see that. I did not catch any of that, but it's okay. John Elite says Loomis is creepy, but he is babyface creepy. I think
he is babyface creepy. Everyone, that huge pop, he saved Gritty. Like, come on. Who doesn't love Loomis?
Gotta keep him away. Ash Finash just says, guys, stop saying Corbin. He's gonna be JBL Jr. That's what it looks like. They're going down. I wouldn't want Corbin to be anywhere near Bray Wyatt.
I think people are saying Corbin just because we haven't seen him since he got in that limo. So people are like, oh, maybe. And I'm like, Corbin doesn't have the. I'm sorry. Corbin's very good at what he does, first of all, but he's not creepy to me. He's not like he was the lone wolf. He didn't come off creepy. He just came off like a mean badass, right? So
He
it's
came
just,
off
he
like
doesn't
a
have
like
that.
a drunk biker from inside of a bar.
Correct.
That's how he comes off. Just say it. Bay says, isn't
No.
he all over all of long-term storytelling? Yes. Rob Fee's
Yes.
role is called the director of long-term creative, but he is working directly with Bray Wyatt as far as this White Rabbit thing. I don't know about moving forward. I would love that, it seems, but
I would love 1 or 2 writers to just stay with Bray. Like, they can do other things, but as far as working on Bray stuff, I would like it if you had like a team that just works on his, and that's it. Because
yes.
I'm sure him coming back, if he re-signed, I'm assuming he did.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was in his deal of some kind. I would hope that he gets his own creative team or something like that. Because when you set a bar this high on creativity for the debut, it kind of needs to stay this high throughout.
Yes.
It might not be a whole bunch of barcodes everywhere, but they might continue barcodes during feuds and stuff. They could still use the barcodes to keep you guessing, like, who's he going after?
They can,
you know what I mean?
They can do something like the person he's feuding with randomly sees a QR code, and then we see him watching the video
Scanning
on
it,
the phone. Yeah. You can do something creative using these QR codes.
I have a question.
I would like some of that to stay. What you said?
Oh no, I would like that to stay. Would you keep him full time?
Who,
Like
Bray?
there every week? I almost feel like Bray should be, I don't want to say part-timer, but I feel like Bray should be used throughout, right? So whether it's a quick appearance or a quick promo, and maybe not really have matches until a pay-per-view or whatever the case may be, but I feel like he needs to be used, I don't want to say sparingly, but uniquely. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we should not see him have a Raw or SmackDown match this year.
I don't think so.
That's number one for sure. As far as him showing up week to week, he can have a presence week to week, but I don't want to see the physical Bray Wyatt every single week. Something like the QR codes to keep people guessing and stuff like that could work for a number of time. I don't think long term, like a year from now, if we're still doing the QR codes, there's going to be people that's going to be annoyed. I had people annoyed after 2 weeks of QR codes. Like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm too old for this.
Some AEW fans like, who has time to do all that? And I was like, really?
I mean,
I'm like, so you must not like Marvel because everyone looks for all the Easter eggs in Marvel constantly. That's the fun thing about Marvel. They leave you Easter eggs. So
to be fair to the AEW fans, I feel like they were only doing that to troll you because WWE fans were the ones, oh, I don't want to look up Mance Warner. Who's Mance Warner? I can't use Google and look up Mance Warner. But y'all motherfuckers took a lot of time to look up, hey, if you click the coordinates of this White Rabbit video, it goes to where Raw's going to be next.
First of all,
but you can't use Google? You
this is why my ass goes on to Twitter.
No, I'm calling out the WWE
on
fans.
Twitter got that because I don't got the time. I'm like, y'all let me know what it says, please. I'm all looking for QR code updates.
I can't. I
don't have the time.
No time.
To be looking at fucking text codes. If you go to the text codes inside the page, I'm like, what? What? Y'all went that far? Power to you. I love you guys because y'all give me all the answers I need.
More power to you. Sean says, all I know is that Bray said, who killed the world? And answered, you did. And then proceeded to said, I mean, we did. So that's what he said on the TV. I couldn't hear that part of the promo. I only heard the first part of it. But hey, that's even better. That's creepy as hell. And yes, I'm sorry. Yes, if you can look up the coordinates in a fucking video, you can use Google to look up Mance Warner.
To the bunny. Let's just put it this way. You'll put time in for the shit you care about.
This is true.
But if you don't care for Mance Warner, you're going to bitch about it, I guess. And if you don't care for Bray Wyatt, you're going to bitch about that.
Go on social media and complain that you don't know who Mance Warner is, but then also go on social media and say the coordinates of the White Rabbit video.
The text code of the internet of the page on the HTML and type in 0000. It says, I'm like, what?
All I want is the same energy. That's all. I'm on a quest. That's my quest for the rest of this year. Is for wrestling fans to keep that same energy. Keep that same energy. Like I saw you like the same post that I like about a certain Twitter account that is one of the worst in all of wrestling media. That totally crapped on Bray Wyatt when he got let go and when they found out his price. But then when he shows up back on WWE, oh my God, he's back.
I'm so happy Bray Wyatt's here. I'm like, hold on. Stop. You said this is why I like Twitter. You got receipts. Yep. Receipts, people. And just because you delete it doesn't mean someone doesn't have the receipt.
And this Twitter account seems to get caught up like that every single week.
He does.
Every single week.
Number one, the big WWE kiss ass. Like, don't get me wrong. I am a WWE fan, but I'm not going to kiss their ass constantly. They don't do everything perfectly.
I wasn't going to say the name, but thank you, Valaby.
Right there. And this person follows me, and I'm just like, and they try and like talk to me, like, comment, and I'm like, I'm not. I think the other day I actually did have a back and forth with that person because I was like, let's keep it real, please.
I always find it funny because I think like twice or three times I've looked in the comments of one of your posts and it's the only one that says this account is blocked. I was like, whose account is blocked that that commented on stuff? Oh, it's always his. It's always this person.
He's always in my he's always in my mentions, and I'm like, and he said something the other day. I forgot what it was. Now it was stupid, and I was like. Let's be real. Like I forgot what it was even about. But I was like, anyway.
Moving on. But I think we spent enough time really digesting and going into the Bray Wyatt mystery.
And that's it, people. That was Extreme Rules. Thank you for coming through. I'm just joking.
Only thing memorable that happened. No,
I'm joking.
Keep those comments coming in the live chat. We would love to talk more about Bray Wyatt because, like I said, one of the best things WWE has done this year, pretty much. This is the WWE moment of the year. It's called up. I don't know if it's it might actually be moment of the year too.
This might be for me over all wrestling companies. This was return of the year for me.
I would say I thought about it more in depth because I said that too after the show. I was like, I got 2 months to determine for the year, but it's really close between this and Cody's return at WrestleMania for the moment of the year. Yeah.
That was this year too.
Exactly.
Oh, shit.
Thank you. Thank you for that because it took me a while to think. I'm like, yeah, nothing come close. I thought about stuff in AEW. I was like, most of AEW's big debuts and returns was last year. So this year they don't have that like big moment like this Bray Wyatt thing. I was like, Bray Wyatt. I was like, oh shit, Cody returned at WrestleMania.
Okay.
I was like,
okay. Oh shit. Okay. Oh shit. Okay, I have to go with Cody. Only because, so Bray's was done to perfection, and we didn't even know if he was going to return. Remember? Yeah. So that's what made this so great. Cody, and I remember being on one of our I think one of the flagship shows, and probably even on Serving, talking about. Remember, you had your when the Cody, what's it called?
When the Cody first turns.
Yes. And I remember telling you, I was like, every week, I'm like, I still don't believe it. Like, I don't believe that he's coming. Until it happens, it happens. And it was because he had so much shit to say about WWE for so long, right? And I was like, he's not coming. Like, I just kept telling people, I'm like, I don't think it's happening. Like, there's no way. It was one of those things where it was kind of unbelievable for me because I was just like, this man who left out of rage created this whole thing to go against WWE is not going to leave that thing he helped create and come back to WWE. Now, in hindsight, I see why, right? He wanted to prove himself. But then I was like, there's just no way. I don't see it. So I think when he came out, I think it was just a huge shock to me. I remember just sitting there going, what the fuck? Like, I was like, this is really happening. And the way they did it and the secret match for Seth and them having an absolute banger without ever wrestling each other in years. right?
Yeah.
I have to go with Cody. We'll talk about that at the end of the year. But I think I have to go with Cody just because of the meaning behind all of that, and the way it was done, and the shock of all of it. I would have to go with Cody. I think Paige is close, but I feel like I feel like Paige needs to be done a little better.
Yeah, I like that one, but like it was also because of prior debuts that was sullied for AEW. I think because people were like, "Yeah, this is great. I'm great to be Saraya," but what about this AEW Women's Division? So I can't put her in that. I think it's really. I think it's a clear 1A, 1B. Like, I wouldn't say anybody is wrong if they chose Cody or Bray for the moment and return of the year. So sound off in the live chat. Let us know what you think. We got Frantic World who says Bray Wyatt return could be number one. We got Vala B who says it's Bray. So it's a very interesting conversation. We got to have Steph on the last True Heel Heat of 2022 to find out if her mind has changed.
I mean, we don't know what else could happen in 2022. It's been a crazy year for wrestling, you guys. Crazy year, man. Like, just
this is true.
So much stuff happening this year. Like, Vince retired, guys. Vincent K. McMahon is no longer in the wrestling industry. Like, just the thought of that. Whether you liked him or not.
You want something else to blow your mind, Steph? Vince McMahon won a match at WrestleMania this year.
Holy shit.
I was thinking because I'm starting to get ready for the end of the year, and I was like, let me just see this right now is my match of the year. I was like, worst match of the year. I was like, I immediately remembered. I was like, damn, what was the worst match? I've seen a lot of good. The worst match of the year was Vince McMahon versus Pat McAfee. Yep. Because it ruined what was one of the better matches at WrestleMania, and I had to see a 76-year-old beat up a 30-year-old.
You know, it's weird in some poetic way, though. I'm kind of glad he got that moment because he's gone.
That was the send-off. We didn't know it was.
That was the send-off, and we didn't even know it. Like, that was his final match. He should have left his little boots in the ring or shoes, whatever he had on. This year has been insane. Anyway.
Definitely, you are definitely right about that.
Punk returned last year, might be gone this year. Like, it's just there's so much going on. Anyway, let's get through the rest of the show.
Yeah, let's talk about this show. We'll probably get through this show faster than we got through talking about Bray Wyatt, but let's talk about the opening. We had a cool little opening narrated by Paul Heyman featuring a boy in a spelling bee trying to spell extreme. He asked for the definitions with Heyman talking about what it means for tonight. And then that took us to our opening matchup of Imperium versus the Brawling Brutes in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match, which is basically a street fight with a bunch of Irish props, basically. But what we got was a freaking brawl. We got a brawl from the beginning.
Sid, I'll never get sick of this. I'll never get sick of it. I just love Sheamus and Gunther. I love it. I'll never get sick of this. Sorry, go on.
Easily, this whole feud has been the second best thing besides the Bloodline in WWE for the past couple of months, and they went at it in this one, brawling all over the place. You had Kaiser and Vinci at one point. They were holding Sheamus over a bar, and Gunther chops away, hits the big boot, dropping him into said bar. Back in, you get Butch and Holland getting beaten up, including a double running drop kick to Butch in the corner. As Imperium poses, Sheamus fights up, and it's time to wreck everyone. He beats up Kaiser and Vinci, and then he gets in and slugs it out with Gunther. A release German suplex drops Sheamus. He gets right back up with a clothesline. Holland and Butch are back up to help with the beating. They all proceed to give the beats of the Bowery to Gunther's ass. Gunther is back up. He hits the Shillelagh shot for 2 on Sheamus. The rest of the Brutes get back in. They beat down on Gunther, allowing Sheamus to hit a heck of a Shillelagh shot to knock Gunther silly. On the outside of the ring, Gunther is watching as Butch and Holland beat up Kaiser and Vinci, and it leaves him distracted for Sheamus to hit the Celtic Cross through the announce table. Back in the ring, Holland and Butch hold up Vinci for Sheamus to hit the bro kick for the win. This was just an excellent just brawl banger. These guys didn't even bother with anything more than what was advertised. They beat the hell out of each other for 18 minutes. I gave this 4.5 stars. Probably one of the best openers to a WWE pay-per-view this year.
It was, I mean, what a fantastic opener, dude. I just, again, I'm not sick of Sheamus and Gunther. I fucking love Imperium. I love Imperium. They're just so clean. What's his name? The other one. Not, is it Kaiser? No.
It's Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci.
Ludwig Kaiser. I just watch him. If you don't watch him, just watch his mannerisms during the entrance, like all of it. He's just so precise and just he's on it. I just love watching him, like just do his thing. Because everyone usually looks at Gunther, and don't get me wrong, I know why. It's a big swell of a man, but just watch Kaiser. The way he walks, like he kind of has that low key like Hitler walk going. And he is like that. Like
he's got his nose up in the air.
Yeah, he has his nose up, and like when he takes the Gunther's coat and he like does the thing, and it's like so precise. Like it's like perfectly around his arm. I'm like, how does he do that? I was like, what? Anyway, sorry. That was my spiel on Kaiser. Just watch him. He's amazing. I just have to give him his props because everyone talks about Gunther, but just watch Kaiser.
That's for sure.
But anyway, it was just great. It was just great. It was so fun. It's so hard hitting. Like I'm always like, God, they're gonna break a rib. Like just how hard they hit each other. They're just really good at selling. I can't say anything bad about this. There was nothing bad about this match. It was enjoyable. It kicked off the show. I think it set the bar high, which sucked for the match after it. But
they were smart in that booking, though. They were smart. They put what potentially could steal the show ahead of the match that probably not too many people were interested.
I mean, there needed to be a low after that, and so I get it. So this match again, I would agree with you, 4.5 stars. It was nothing bad with this match. The Brawling Brutes picked up the W. I was not a fan of Butch, but I'm absolutely loving. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Is he Pete Dunne? Is he the bruiserweight? No.
He's Pete Butch Dunne.
He's Pete Butch Dunne. Pete Butch Dunne. I almost said bitch, Lord. Pete Butch Dunne.
Let's go.
You're talking about Elimination Chamber. I'm calling bitch. Anyway,
get bitch. I mean Butch.
Again, I am enjoying him now. It has grown on me. I love what they're doing with him. It's a scrappy little guy who just wants to punch everybody, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, 4.5 stars for that one for me.
Hell of a matchup to kick off the show. Frantic World with a question for me. You got FTR and them boys on your list, right? Match of the year, definitely. Both of those matches is probably going to be in my top 10. FTR and them boys, as well as Gunther and Sheamus won. That's definitely in my top 5 for the match of the year.
Me. Top 5 for me.
We got Will Chisholm who says Triple H almost died this year, and now he's king of WWE. Yo,
that was all.
That was last year.
This year too.
That was last year, and he had the cardiac arrest. This year was when we found out about it, and he retired. And then months later, he's the king.
So I would say that Triple H retired this year, and now he's literally king of creative. I mean, again, 2022 is just
what a year. What a crazy year. Probably the craziest year in wrestling history. King Raz says, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you as well. I see a bunch of people bringing up good old Liv Morgan. So let's talk about her matchup, which was next. And Liv Morgan defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Ronda Rousey in an Extreme Rules matchup. Liv brought a baseball bat to the ring. That was fine for Rousey, who starts the brawl and stops Morgan from trying to get the baseball back. We get Rousey. She picks up the bat, but she takes too long after trapping Liv in the ring curtain, and then Liv blasts her with a fire extinguisher. That's not enough, though, as Rousey hits the Piper's Pit on the floor, followed by a baseball bat to the ribs. But man, these baseball bat shots and steel chair shots were some of the worst in wrestling history. I am legitimate. Especially Liv Morgan.
I was gonna say, I'm like, there were a couple Ronda did that look like she actually was hitting the shit out of her.
And you saw the bruises on Liv.
Yes.
So I can't put this on Ronda. I'm gonna say, Liv, I know you don't want to hurt anybody, but girl, you versus a former UFC Hall of Famer. Put a little bit more strength in that. Put a little bit more power in your swing, because it was rough in the middle portion of this matchup. It got a little bit better as they got more extreme with the weapon use, using some steel chairs and stuff. Liv hit a nice little senton off the top rope, threw a table to lay out Ronda, hit a code breaker with the steel chair as well. Pretty awful power bomb at one point on the broken table though. Rousey though got the advantage. She got the arm after the power bomb by Liv Morgan, got her arm and started doing a bicep cruncher, and then eventually started choking her out with her hips, and Liv, I guess, in mass hysteria, or as well as fully embracing the extreme side, smiles as she passes out and loses the SmackDown Women's Championship. So Ronda Rousey is a 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion. Got a bunch of boos at the beginning of the match, but by the end of the match, it was more like the Cena reaction of a lot of cheers with some boos spread out for Ronda Rousey, but she only heard the boos. I love the fact that you could tell Triple H was like, Ronda, react how you want to react. He did not give her the same reactions as Vince. Vince was like, smile always, no matter if you hear boos.
That drove me nuts.
Yeah,
stop smiling. Just go punch everyone in the audience. What are you smiling for?
Triple H said, react how you want to react, and she was reacting to every boo. But Liv Morgan snapped at the end with a big smile on her face, and we got a exclusive on WWE.com of Liv Morgan further reaching her breaking point. So I want to ask you what you thought about the match, and what do you think about the post match with this? Seems like a character change coming for Liv Morgan. Me myself, I gave the match 2.5 stars. It was probably, I think this and the next match were probably the weakest things on the show.
I gave the match 2 stars. I
love that I've been doing this long enough with Steph that I could tell that little breath and the pause you take is, okay, how can I say this the nicest as possible?
Trying to be positive. Sorry.
No. Okay. I love it. That popped me so much.
The fact that you know that now, I'm like, okay, how can I say this? So I'm not okay. Okay. First of all, I'm gonna say this: the match wasn't as bad, I think, as some people are making it. Okay, I'm gonna put that there. Was it good? No, but was it as bad as people are making it? Like, calm down. All right. They don't have chemistry. They just don't. I personally liked how hard Ronda was hitting. I wish they had kept that intensity throughout. I love the spot where she hit her with the bat and she looks off like home run, right? Like I was like, Ronda, stop. But that popped me. Part of this did kind of feel like a rehearsal sometimes instead of the actual match, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like the transitions were off. When you're working with someone like Ronda, who's not a professional wrestler, you have to kind of change the way you do things a bit to seem more real. I don't know if that's the right word. Because I love, and I told my husband this when we were watching it, I love when Ronda gets into her multiple submissions that she can do. And when you allow her to do stuff like that, it comes off more real and more like her, right? To me, Ronda looked better in this match than Liv did. And that's why it's important with Ronda. She has to work with people who are excellent wrestlers. Excellent wrestlers. The best matches she has had with Sasha Banks, with Charlotte Flair. I thought their match at, I think it's Backlash, they actually had a really good match. They also had their Survivor Series match a couple years ago. There has to be intensity, and she has to be able to do her mat work, and she has to be able to do her quick holds and her grips and her submissions. And the other person across from her has to have the charisma and all of that to sell that and still sell the match and still do the character stuff, because Ronda isn't necessarily going to do all that, right? So, and Liv just isn't that person. So I feel like that's probably why this feud just fell flat. Liv fans are going to hate me, but I'm actually kind of happy that she lost the title. It wasn't doing much for me. I'm okay with Ronda having it, as long as Ronda keeps the same intensity and they don't script her and they just let her be herself. I'm okay with it. I'm interested to see where they go, obviously, from here. I am very into that aftermath with Liv and her kind of smiling at Ronda, and then the post, not even interview, but that post segment they posted online with her kind of in the dark shadows looking all crazy or whatever. So this is obviously a character change coming for Liv. I'm not assuming it's Bray. I think everyone's assuming, oh, she's joining Bray. Not everyone's going to join Bray Wyatt, all right? Everyone calm down. Would I think it'd be cool? Yes, I think Liv would actually do a great job with that. She has that look and that creepiness about her when she's not smiling all the time. I think she could do really well with that. So I'm interested to see where it goes. The match was a downer for that opener, and that's what they gave us. And
you did that as nice as you could. I appreciate the effort there, and I agree with you. Ronda was the better of the two, and I would say Ronda was really good when she was selling a lot of Liv's stuff that didn't look good. It didn't look good, but Ronda sold the one where I think she was beating her with the bat, and then Liv grabbed the bat and threw her into the apron, and you could see Ronda just threw her head and then sold it like it was everything. I was like, yo, that was such a good sell. Like the way Ronda just throws her body sometimes when she's selling something, I really enjoy it. And it's not, and I wouldn't even...
what's different too. The way I don't know if she's like ambidextrous, but the way sometimes Ronda collapses is so different than wrestlers. Like
it is.
It's so like with wrestlers,
her legs like frail,
like folds like this, and I'm like, how does she do that? It's like a marionette puppet. Like, I do really like that about her. And she is getting so much better at selling. And you're right. Some of those things that Liv was doing was looking like a play fight. And Ronda was like, oh.
The only thing different that you said that I don't agree with or I would adjust is I don't think Ronda needs someone who's a great wrestler, because honestly, some of Ronda's best matches were against Nia Jax. And that's not who I would call a great wrestler. She just needs someone that the fans believe can get offense on Ronda Rousey, and Liv Morgan wasn't that. Like, whenever Liv did any type of offense to Ronda, I'm just like, this is not very believable, because in the back of my mind, I also remember Ronda Rousey done murked Liv Morgan with two other friends in the past. So how is it now? I don't care how much Liv has improved.
Liv has gotten stronger. SP, she's gotten stronger. She's grown.
She's grown as a person without her friends around. No, but yeah, I think this was the right time to kind of move on the Liv Morgan experience. Yeah, more or less, she is the example of someone that was better booked by Vince than Triple H, mainly because Triple H, I feel like when he took over, he basically said, okay, this Liv Morgan championship run is nice, but I'm going to kind of use it to get Ronda over more. And it worked.
It worked. I think he had to dial back the script again from Ronda and let her be herself. If you let Ronda be herself, whether you like her or not, she comes off more of as a genuine badass, right? Like just be you. And like to your point, react how you're going to react. Say what you're going to say, whatever it is, like just be you, right? You don't need to play. That's the thing. When you can't have Ronda playing a character. Ronda in herself in WWE is a character, right? She is Ronda Rousey. She needs to just be herself. She came in because it's rowdy Ronda Rousey, the baddest woman. Like, let her be that. And just let her be that. Let her have that aura. and everyone else just work around it and help her out in the things she lacks in, right? And if they are doing Becky and Ronda at Mania, I have no clue if they are or not. If they're going that route, just let them be themselves. Let Becky do her character work, right? She will do the talking. She'll get people interested, and let Ronda be herself, and let them just both be badass women. And that's what they should have done in the first fucking place when they first main evented WrestleMania. They didn't. So if they're going that route, just let them do that, and they'll do just fine. But yeah. Anyway, next match.
Got a bunch of comments here real quick. Vala B says that Liv backstage thing made me laugh. We also got John Paul, who says Ronda is a great revenue and appearance draw for WWE. She is where the money is. Technical evaluation is an internet thing. The merchandise fans are 13 and under, and Ronda is money. I mean, I've been saying it for months, even when everyone was down on Ronda's character work and her mic work, which you were right to be down on it. She was still getting big reaction from WWE fans. So yeah. John Paul's 100% right. Regardless of how we feel on YouTube or social media, Ronda gets the big responses in the building.
Oh yeah, kids love her. Kids love her. Casuals love her. I mean, she's mainstream. People love Ronda Rousey. Us on Twitter, who are in the day in, day out news, live updates, like we're so in the weeds, right? We like our wrestling a certain way, however that is, and Ronda does not necessarily fit that mold, and I think people just like to criticize it. So it is what it is. I've come to appreciate what she brings, right? Still not a huge Ronda Rousey fan, but I appreciate what she brings. I understand why she is there, and if she just works on some of the wrestling stuff, pro wrestling stuff, excuse me, she knows jujitsu. Or no, judo.
Judo, yes.
Judo. So she knows wrestling, but pro wrestling, if she works on the pro wrestling stuff, it's not even that. I think I told you she was missing that fire. Someone posted a video of Ronda Rousey and Becky in that build to WrestleMania, and it's the one where Ronda's gut punching Becky. She was on the crutch, and she's like, she is getting those licks in. I mean, fast too. Like she was hitting Becky so hard, and I know, Rebecca. I know she said, "Hit me," right? Because she's fine with it.
Yeah,
she's the type to be like, "Hit me." Like we want this to look real, right? But the fire that was in Ronda in that clip, I just saw it. I think this morning someone posted it. That's what was missing for me. So when she was hitting Liv with the bat and was connecting, I was like, okay, like she needs to get that fire back. I think if she gets that back, we'll be good. She is now champ again. She needed to get the script out. People are now cheering her and booing her. She's getting reactions, right, in the stadiums, and that's what we want. So we'll see where it goes.
I would like this. Sophie says no, Ronda and Shayna tag team. I would like that to the alliance between Ronda and Shayna, that be the catalyst for the Ronda heel turn. Because now that they got the fans behind her a little bit more as a babyface, I'd say see how she's reacted to.
Because Liv was technically the face in that.
In last night's match, because the Philadelphia crowd are smart Mark fans.
Well, I don't want her to. I'll be honest, SP. I don't want her to be heel or face. I want her to be Ronda Rousey. Does that make sense?
Ronda Rousey's a heel.
She can be the procrastinator in a feud, right? But I don't. Not procrastinator. What's the word I'm looking for?
Antagonist.
The antagonist. Jesus, why is it procrastinating? Wow.
You're thinking protagonist.
Scratch that. We'll delete that later.
Don't worry. I just figured out what the name of the show was. Don't worry.
Right. I'm fine with her being the antagonist in the feud. However, I just want her to be her. Right? I don't. It's kind of with Charlotte, right? Charlotte's a natural heel, but I just consider her Charlotte Flair the queen. Like, just let her be the queen, right? Like, whatever that is. So, again, we'll see.
We'll have to wait and see the follow-up for Ronda Rousey winning the SmackDown Women's Championship. I just feel like WWE made the right move. You gotta cut your losses. If something's not working, don't try to make it work, because WWE's not good at that either. So just cut your losses and move on. And
I think it was a good first title run for her. I think Triple H knew she's a fan favorite, right? But
she got run. She got 3 months.
I'm saying, I think that's actually a decent run for a title.
That's what somebody should get for their first run, to see if it gets over. Like the Nikki ASH holding the title for a month, that's not enough time to see if she could have been a good champion. We gave Liv 3 months to see if she got over. The person she won the title from got more over than she did. Thus, it's time to move on. We're going to move on to another match from the SmackDown break. Karrion Kross going one-on-one with Drew McIntyre in a strap match. This was pretty much what we expected. Two big meaty men slapping, not meat, but slapping straps. Loud whip sounds as Kross went at it with Drew. Drew coming back with big whips to Kross. In the end, Drew hits the future shock. He kips up. He's loading up for the Claymore, but in comes Scarlett. Scarlett tries to stop him. Drew tries to walk past her, but she hits him with some pepper spray, and Karrion Kross follows up with the crosshammer to the back of the head, the running forearm for the win in just over 10 minutes. This one was pretty much what I expected. I expected violence. I expected some leather strap, big strong man beating the crap out of each other, and I pretty much got that. I think this was a good showing for Karrion Kross. Not mind-blowing or anything like that at all, but this accomplished what it needed to accomplish. I gave it 3.25 stars. I thought it was a nice way to give Karrion Kross his first big win since his return. What did you think?
This is probably the match I was least looking forward to, for being honest. I didn't really care.
I agree with you.
To your point, I think it was a great way to kind of put Karrion Kross on the map, right? He's back. He got a W. My only question out of this is, what are we doing with Drew here? Because he was literally legit. Like 2 months ago, we were like, he's the guy. He's going to be taking it off for Roman. And he's getting beat with pepper spray. Don't get me wrong. Pepper spray sucks and it fucking is horrible. So it's actually realistic that he lost. But
it's more effective than the fireball that Scarlett tried to throw.
Correct. Yes, correct. I mean, it is what it is. I gave it a 3. I honestly don't have much to say. It was exactly, I guess, what we expect a strap match to be. I will say Scarlett looked amazing. She was giving me Sable vibes last night. And she looked great.
She looked. Can't say too much, but thumbs up for
the gentleman.
Thumbs up for Scarlett there. Karrion, lucky man. Good
job,
there.
Sir.
Good job mating in life. Queen Mo says, I wonder if they don't care about Ronda's reactions till Becky shows up, because Becky will most likely get her consistently booed. That's why I said I think they should use Shayna Baszler. I think the point of SummerSlam wasn't what we got. I think the point of SummerSlam was clear as day, that they were trying to turn Ronda Rousey heel, just went about it in the wrong way, and thus made her more of a babyface. So I think they have to get back on the road of getting Ronda to that, which if you get the fans behind her and then she aligns with Shayna Baszler, they feel betrayed. They're like, you can do this on your own. You don't need Shayna. And that brings up Shayna, because she's involved with one of their bigger stars, and I think that just helps, because I do agree with Queen Mo. Regardless of what we feel heel face tweener Ronda is, we learned the first time, and we need to learn from our mistakes, that Becky Lynch will get Ronda Rousey booed out the building.
That's why I don't think it matters if she's heel or not. That's what I'm saying. Just let Ronda be Ronda. It doesn't fucking matter.
She's such a good heel, though. That's what I wanted.
But her heel is her.
Yes, exactly.
Do you see what I'm saying? I'm like, just let her be herself. Because no matter fucking what, if we are going down the road to WrestleMania and it is Becky versus Ronda Rousey, it doesn't fucking matter what she is. It doesn't matter. Rebecca is going to get this woman booed out of the building. Whether it's her one-liners, her online work, whatever it might be. Anyway.
She's like, I'm just saying my piece here. Good question here, though, by Fort Minor Projects. And who do you think Karrion Kross faces next? I'm hoping he moves on from Drew McIntyre.
I'm trying to hope. I want to see him against Braun.
I legit was thinking that. I was like, you really want to put him over and make him a monster? Make him the first guy to beat Braun since his return. Use him to bring up Braun. Because
you have two people who just returned. You don't want necessarily either one of them taking a loss, but they're two big guys. They're too big. I think Braun would be a great next match. And Braun's technically is SmackDown, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with you. I think Braun in some way will probably be involved in the War Games match, but if you want to wait a little bit, Karrion Kross versus Braun, I think that's a good way.
We're kind of in that stretch now, right? So is Survivor Series next or Crown Jewel?
Crown Jewel's next at the beginning of November, and then War Games.
Okay, so we might have a couple more feuds going into Crown Jewel. So I'm gonna say, I was like, you're kind of in that, you get in that Survivor Series limbo where I hate you, but we're on the same team right now. So you know what I mean? Like you kind of get into that. So are we getting Bianca Belair versus Ronda Rousey?
Let's talk about Bianca Belair because I have some good things to say about this next match and I have some bad things to say about this next match. So let's just get into it. It was the first ever Raw Women's Championship matchup in a ladder match as Bayley of Damage Control went one-on-one with Bianca Belair. We got the
so
big
good.
I love the Sarah on her wristband. That was great for the late Sarah Lee who passed away this week. So I love that touch by Bayley. They wasted no time in going outside to grab a ladder each. Bayley gets the better of things, only to break things up without much trouble after explaining to a fan. I love that part with the fan when she's beating up Bianca. She literally stops at the fan that's saying, "You suck." And she says, "Who sucks? Me? I'm winning." I legit was dying of laughter for 5 minutes after. I was like, that is one of the best interactions with a fan that I've seen.
That the right at the beginning, when they're doing the big from from Sacramento, California, whatever she is, and then she instead of talking shit to Bianca, she turns to Michael Cole and she's like, "Yo, suck, Cole," and she's like talking shit to Cole, and I'm like, instead of your opponent, she's talking shit to Cole. I fucking love Bayley. Like she's just so good. And then the really fan interaction, and she takes one of the fan signs where it says Bayley is ding dong, and she's like, "See?" And she throws it, and I'm just like, this woman is too fucking much. I love her so much.
She was great. Very innovative offense by Bayley using the ladders as a weapon. She has a sunset bomb in the ring. She sets up a ladder bridge on the outside and puts Bianca on it and then hits a running elbow drop off the apron to Bianca on the ladder and then puts up the ding dong hello side. Love that. Love that. Great stuff. Eventually, though, Bianca does get the advantage. She knocks Bayley. She goes, first, Bayley tries to take a piece of her knee brace off and use it against Bianca, but she misses the charge. Bianca grabs a KOD and then goes up the ladder to try to grab the championship, but that leads to the rest of Damage Control, Io Sky and Dakota Kai coming out to help out Bayley. They explain that Alexa Bliss and Asuka were injured on Monday, so they can't help her out. That's broken up though eventually as Bianca Belair shows off her amazing strength by giving a double KOD to Damage Control. Bayley comes back in and hits the Rose Plant. She loads up the ladder over Bianca Belair, but she uses her strength once again and presses it, shoving Bayley off in an insane power display. It's Bayley going up, and then Bianca uses uses her braid to bring her back down, whipping her with it. Bayley picks up a ladder, but Bianca picks up Bayley with the ladder and KODs both of them, and that allows her enough time to climb up the ladder and retrieve the Raw Women's Championship in just under 17 minutes. I thought that this was a really good job of making Bianca Belair look like a monster John Cena-esque babyface and taking down all of Damage Control. Very good ladder match with some creative spots throughout. Unfortunately, I love Bianca Belair. Don't get me wrong here. But what the hell are we doing next? What are we doing next? The logical finish to this is Bayley wins, because you have Bayley win with the help of Damage Control. You've already established all of Bianca's friends are injured, and then Bayley wins by cheating. This protects Bianca Belair and makes Bianca Belair have an interesting story of trying to take down this threat that came and introduced at SummerSlam, and it feels like 2 months after SummerSlam, the Damage Control story should be over at this point. It should be over. They couldn't win the women's tag team titles on the first try. Bayley can't beat Bianca Belair because she's lost in a Hell in a Cell. She lost in singles matches. She's lost in non-title matches. Now she lost in a ladder match with 2 other people helping her. Bayley and Damage Control look like chumps. The match in a vacuum, I gave it 4 stars. Really great matchup. One of the better matches on this show, but the result was just baffling.
First of all, I'm gonna start with, I gave it 4.25. This was my match of the night, though, just because I was mostly invested in this one, and I thought they did incredible. I thought the spots were great. I thought the character work was great. To your point, I see it on both sides here. If they are establishing, saying Bianca, right, it made Bianca look like a fucking monster. If that's where they're going and they are done with Bayley and Bianca, okay, right? If they are not done with Bayley and Bianca, why? You're on mute.
No, I was going to say, I was like, that's the thing, though. Because we all know they're not done. That's the thing. That's the key to this.
We don't know.
We do know.
This is Triple H era now.
What are we doing at War Games? How are we doing a women's War Games without the group we introduced in the Triple H era? Are we really going to do that? No, we're not.
Yeah, but Bianca's not going to be in that match. That's what I'm saying. I think they're done.
I think Bianca is going to
be
in that match. I think I would say
the Survivor Series. I would assume to Bianca's going to have a title match, right?
No, because they kind of have said that the War Games are not going to be Raw versus SmackDown, and they haven't told us if any other matches are going to be Raw versus SmackDown.
This is true. I guess we don't know. That's true. There's a kink in how that, and we have Crown Jewel. I'm assuming they're going to want to have some women's match at Crown Jewel. So it would make sense if they run back Bayley and Bianca. But you're right. I'm not going to say that Damage Control looks weak because it's Bianca. If they were losing against just fucking anybody, I would say that, but it's Bianca Belair. Okay, she's known to be the toughest, the roughest, the quickest, the one to overcome, whatever the case may be. So it was believable for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can.
It definitely didn't make them look weak. It just made me seem like she had to rally a little harder. To your point, now I'm interested to see where they go on Raw tomorrow, because they really don't have a foot to stand on to go back after her. Now, Bianca did say in a post interview, don't worry, Dakota and Io, Alexa and Oscar are coming for you. So I do believe at least that the tag portion is going to continue. I don't know. You're right. I think it would have made sense for Bayley to win. I think a lot of people were expecting Bayley to win. Because it could have made it for a bigger moment if they were to run it back, for Bianca to win it back from her at Crown Jewel. I don't know.
I would have been fine with that, even if it was a 1 month reign for Bayley. I just don't understand how she can be considered a threat to Bianca at this point. She's lost so many. This is now like 5 straight matches she's lost to Bianca. Like, they made you not remember that because this is kind of a new version of Bayley with damage control. But this is once again the Bray Wyatt problem, where Bayley said that she had a goal. She said the whole group's goal is to take control, win the championship.
Yeah.
It's been, even in the introductions, they said it's all been leading to this for Bayley, and with everything in her favor, she lost. So if they're gonna delay this for a month and have Bayley take the title at Crown Jewel, it just feels like you missed out on the moment for her.
Right. Yeah. No, you're right. It all depends on where they're going. Again, I don't think they look weak. I don't think Damage Control looks weak. Io and Dakota. I don't. Because they are the champs, right? However, Sid.
They lost to Aaliyah. I'm sorry. It was like it was
seen since.
And her partner just moved on. Her partner moved on and found someone new.
Raquel's like, I got a new tag partner. Bye. The Bayley thing is a conundrum because we all know her. We all know Pam loves to put others over. I know that's always been her goal. As a character, you're right. She was the first person to pin Bianca.
Yeah.
In what, 2 years?
So
they did do that for her. I don't know. I'm curious to see what they do with Bayley from here because you're right. She made a promise. She said, "This is what we're doing. This is what we're going to do." She is the heel, though, and so sometimes the heel's plans get a little fucked up when the hero comes along, right? So it's one of those things where it's like,
imagine if when Roman came back and he was with Paul Heyman and then lost that first match for the Universal Championship. Would we be here 2 years later and say that the Bloodline is the biggest group in WWE?
They are, no, but Bayley isn't Roman.
But I'm just saying, with a heel stable, they have to be established as a threat before they're taken down. This feels like a lot of talking about Damage Control being a threat, but everything we've seen says they're not.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know. The finish could have been the finish. I to be honest, I had guessed Bayley was winning, so it completely threw me off. But it was an amazing moment for Bianca, so I'm like, okay, I don't know where we're going.
I would have liked for Bianca to be a smart baby face who locked Damage Control in the locker room. Don't even have Damage Control interfere in the match. Have Bayley have taken care of them before the match, because I feel like that made Bayley look weaker. Is them actually interfering, and she took them out. And then she beat her too. Like she won a 3-on-1. Do we take Sonya Deville seriously as a threat for any title after her, Carmella, and Zelina lost to Bianca? No. So I don't think we should take Bayley seriously anymore. And that's an issue when she's supposed to be in the leader of the top heel faction on the show.
Yeah, this is true.
Tough.
Hopefully she's okay. She was bleeding at the end too.
Yeah, I heard about that. Hopefully she's all right. But shout outs to both women. When it comes to the match, this has nothing to do with the women involved. This has everything to do with the booking. The women involved delivered in the match. We do have Queen Mo says Bayley should have won. She has a way more clear direction than Bianca. But if they want to keep the title on Bianca, they need to take her reign to the next level. And I 100% agree with you, Queen Mo, because I've been saying this before Elimination Chamber, and I'll say it now. Bianca Belair, since winning the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania, I would say she's been the best women's wrestler of 2022. But the company has pushed someone else over her this entire reign. Becky was the focus during the first half of her run as Raw Women's Champion on Raw every week with her feud with Asuka and her chasing back the championship. They put the focus back on Bianca when she feuded with Becky going into to SummerSlam, and then that immediately the spotlight wasn't given to Bianca in that matchup. It was given to Bayley and Damage Control. So pretty much she's been the champion for 6 months. 3 months Becky was the focus. 3 months Bayley's been the focus. We need to make her the focus now after this win.
Yeah. And maybe that's what it's about. Maybe now it can be about. It's weird because you're right. I feel like the build is about the hills and the matches are about Bianca. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because if you looked at last night's match, you're right. The focus had been on Bayley and Damage Control in the build. And then you get to the match and Bianca just has this amazing, monstrous match. And I feel like that is about her. And that's how it's been. Every time we get to the match, it's about Bianca. So whether you like that or not, I do feel that's where it matters the most is that match and delivering and making that person look like they belong there. And she does look like she is it, right? So yes. I don't know. You have to have a balance of both, though. You have to have a balance of both. So
100%. Very quickly, let's go over a lot of these backstage segments that we got throughout this night. We saw Miz show up at the building, and apparently Miz was getting ready for his birthday celebration and needed to see Triple H. But throughout the night, he kept getting interrupted and annoyed by Flyers mascot Gritty, which popped the hell out of me because I just saw Gritty on Abbott Elementary, and it just popped me so much seeing him here. Then at the end of the night, when he eventually goes to Triple H's office, he's stopped by Gritty, he beats up Gritty, and he is then approached by Dexter Lumis. I thought throughout the night Gritty was Dexter, but here we are. Dex is behind Miz, and then finally attacks him, chokes him out, and then Gritty gets in a kick on the Miz after he attacked him. Any thoughts on these segments here?
First of all, I love that Gritty was like completely involved like throughout the night and just following Miz around. And Miz is like, he's all paranoid. And he's like, I'm pretty sure that's Loomis. And like, he totally kicks Gritty's ass. And then Loomis is like, I ain't having that. And then Gritty got his licks in too. I was like, this is cute. I like it. I mean, it was rare that we were kind of getting this kind of stuff during pay-per-views. Just because Miz didn't even have a match, right?
No.
So I'm just glad that type of stuff is coming back. Like there's some storytelling within the pay-per-view itself that has nothing to do with the pay-per-view. So I thought it was cute. I'm glad we saw Gritty. He got his little wrestling fame in there and got his licks in. And Miz is great. I mean, Miz is just great at what he does. And Loomis, God love him. You're right. He's the creepy, lovable guy.
the creepy, lovable guy. Absolutely. He's a lover man. And then we got our semi-main event of Edge going up against Finn Balor in an I Quit match. First question I have for you, Stephanie. What the hell was Finn Balor wearing?
Okay, so just the photo alone, it looks so, I hate using this word, but cringy. But the entrance itself, if you watch the full entrance, it actually looks really cool.
It did.
Because
the new song, slower version. Yeah.
Him when it gets to the point where he typically puts his arms up and he doesn't do it, and everyone's like, oh, wait, he didn't do it, right? Like everyone's waiting for him to put his arms up, and he does it very slowly after the fact, and it's like, what? So I thought the whole entrance actually was really cool. And this was different. I think someone said this was something Karrion Kross threw away.
Yes, it definitely does look like that. Or you said cringy. I was gonna say this looks so Kanye.
Oh, I forgot he did that. I totally forgot. I feel like Finn's going through identity crisis because he had like purple bandana gangsta Finn. We have S&M Finn or whatever this is. We have we had like pants Finn, trunks Finn. Like, what are we doing, sir?
Cream Mo.
What if
So
I wish Finn
she
kept the
could
bandana.
kept
Oh,
the
you like the
bandana.
gangster Finn? All right, Mo.
She wants that
All
gangster.
right.
The
You're a
Saints
gangster
Row
Finn.
Finn. That Saints Row Finn, yo, out here in these streets. What we got here in the I Quit match was a tale of two matches. The first half of the match was slow, plotting. Referee kept putting a microphone to each man's face for the simplest of freaking moves. It was annoying me when
Yep.
Finn is like working over the leg and he's asking Edge, "Do you quit?" Like, what? We're 2 minutes into the match. What are we
That's
doing
all.
here?
Do you quit? What? You punched me once.
When we got into the crowd, it got a little bit better. Nice little shot here of Edge doing the grin submission with the hockey stick on Finn on the pre-show table. It looked like Edge was going to get the win inside the ring with the educator, but that brought in Damian Priest. Love Michael Coulson. I was wondering when this idiot was going to show up for the save with Dominic Mysterio following. Edge spears Balor through the ropes and takes out all of Judgment Day. He gets in the ring and he goes for another spear, but Rhea Ripley handcuffs him to the top rope. The three men of Judgment Day beat Edge down, and then Rey Mysterio finally comes down. He hits a bunch of offense until Dominic takes him out, but this brings out Beth Phoenix. Phoenix grabs a kendo stick from Finn Balor, nails Balor and Priest. She stares down with Rhea Ripley and hits
so hard.
hits a spear on her and grabs the key. She frees Edge and he spears down Priest. He delivers 3 spears to Finn Balor, but Breath grabs a chair for Edge and he loads up the crossface, but Rhea Ripley comes back into the ring, blasts Beth Phoenix with brass knuckles. This distracts Edge long enough for Judgment Day to take him down, deliver 3 coup de grace to Edge, and they ask him, will he quit? But Edge says, go to hell. So Rhea Ripley picks up the head of Beth, shows that she's unconscious, gets 2 steel chairs, threatens to give her a concerto, but this is enough for Edge to say, I quit. But of course, not enough for Rhea Ripley, as after the match, she concertos Beth Phoenix anyway. Panic ensues, and Beth Phoenix is helpless as Edge and officials check on her to end this matchup. Like I said, tale of two halves. First half was slow, prodding, hated all the referee microphone teases. Second half of this, it was compelling, it was story driven. Once Judgment Day got involved, this is when the match picked up. And it really just delivered some of the best storytelling of the whole entire show. And that image of Beth getting the concerto from Rhea Ripley elevated Ripley here. So I give the match overall 4 stars. Overall, really great stuff with a brilliant finish. What about you?
I gave it 3 3/4. 3, isn't that right? Yeah, 3 3/4. Same. I found myself tuning out kind of in the beginning, like the first half, if you will. I was kind of like, okay, like, all right, like you're right, like 2 hits. Do you quit? No, motherfuckers. I'm like, really?
What are we doing here?
Come on, guys. The second half of the match, I just want to focus on that because it gave me life. That whole thing gave me life. The storytelling in the second half, the what's the word? It kind of kept you on the edge of your seat because you were like,
yeah,
huh? Edge of your seat. Sorry. So I'm such a dork. Anyway, I'm cracking myself up. I'm so stupid. Okay. Anyway, no. So number 1, the face off with Beth and Rhea, I fucking popped because I'm like, I want it. Give it to me. They started just welling on each other. These are 2 beautiful, strong, tall, glamazon women, and I want to see it. So I'm still hoping it happens for real. And just the part with Dominic, when Dominic got stuck in the ring with Edge and he's looking at him and you see Dominic basically shit his pants, low-key, and he's like, oh shit, like Uncle Edge is gonna get my ass now, right? Like, and then like he's trying to put his hand out for a handshake, like, you know, hey Unc, you know what I mean? Like, and Edge was like, okay, and then ball shot. Like, it was just, I loved all of it. And the way he pushes Dominic out the ring, just like with his head, like stupid kid, right? Like, It's just I loved all of it. Rhea, you're right. Rhea looked like a fucking badass here. I keep not complaining. I kept mentioning on our serving show that even though Rhea seems like the leader here, and she's looking strong and she's looking great, I want to see her wrestle. Right? She's a wrestler. I want to see her wrestle, but I have to say, I think this has put Rhea over more than any match she's probably had on the main roster. Like, she looks great. The part where they're holding Edge and, they're waiting for him to say, I quit, and she's about to hit, Beth with the chair. He says it, and then Rhea's like, okay. Anyway, and I was like, oh, and the chair shot looks so real to me. I was like low key. I was like, "Is Beth okay?" Like I was like,
I think she didn't know how to do the concerto, honestly, because that looked like it hit her.
It looked like she actually hit her. And I'm like,
the point of the concerto is you're supposed to hit the top of the chair because you get the sound, and it looks like you hit them, but you didn't really hit them.
Yes.
But the way that chair hit that fall, it did not look like she hit the top of that chair.
I'm like, honey, you don't really hit them, girl. Like, and I don't know. Go back and watch it. When she hits her, Beth's hand does like this.
A tremble.
She goes like a tremor, and I'm like, oh fuck, did she really hit? I'm like, oh my god, she has a concussion. She looked like the dude on the football field. Like I was like, oh my god, like what is going on? Did she really hit her? Like I don't know if she was just selling or not, but fuck, that whole ending to me was just perfect because you assumed after Edge got released from the handcuffs and he got the spears in, like I knew Edge was winning. All right. I knew. I was like, this is it. Edge is gonna win. We get a big pop. That was not it was all unexpected. It was great. It was a great last half to that match. I think someone commented about it being long.
Dude,
Edge's matches are way too fucking long. Like,
I saw this comment by Annika where she says, "Why does Edge think he needs to do these over 20-minute matches?" And I looked up the time of the match. Do you know how long this match was?
How long?
29 minutes, 53 seconds.
29.
It was 30 minutes. 30 minutes. It did not need to be 30 minutes
and
long.
All we needed was the last 15 minutes.
Like, this match would have been great at 15, 20 minutes. And
why are all his matches so long?
I feel like Triple H retired and he was like, I'll take the mantle of having long, overdrawn marathon matches that you had, Triple H.
Like, it just doesn't need to be this long.
No.
Again, the last 15 minutes is all I fucking needed. Like, it was amazing. That first 15 minutes... Guys, I don't know what happened half the time. I started watching.
Yeah. I
stopped watching.
My notes literally said nothing happened for 10 minutes. They went into the crowd. It picked up. I didn't want to say that's what my notes said, but that's what my notes say. They did nothing for 10 minutes, then went into the crowd, and the match picked up.
I remember I looked up for a second, and there was a spot where Finn kind of jumped on, I think, Edge's knee and hit the section 110. Look, if you watch the security guard, she goes, like, I think security guard might not watch wrestling, so she might actually thought that actually happened. Because she's like,
I didn't mention it in the last match, but the best camera shot of the night is when Bayley is about to smash Bianca with the ladder, and all you see is this black lady in the front row. Like,
oh, the ladies with the green shirt guy, right? Yes, I know. I was like, she's one of the memes now. She is now a meme. She's like, oh god. And there's another one actually when Edge is coming out and he does that. And he's running,
and you see the security guard.
He's like,
there was some great shots. Great shots.
I got so many memes from last night. I can't even explain to you. Anyway, so yeah, 4 3/4 stars, and
you said 3 3/4 stars,
or whatever it was.
She's like 4 3/4 stars for the finish, 1 star for the
basically.
It rounds off to 3.
Can we give 2 stars? Can we do 2 parts?
Beginning. She said -1 star for the first 15 minutes, 4 3/4 for the last 15 minutes, 3 3/4 stars.
All I'm gonna say is, I guess they can't because Dominic Mysterio's in it. but I'd really like to fucking move on from the Mysterio, like Ray and Edge and Judgment Day. Like, can we? I know we can't fully because Dominic still has to probably fight his father here.
Yeah.
But can we at least get Edge out of it now? Like, I'm assuming Beth has to now come back around. I don't know. I feel
logically, they can get 2 pay-per-views out of this because they could do a mixed tag match of Finn and Rhea versus Edge and Beth at Crown Jewel, and then the blow-off should probably be at Survivor Series where you do a 4-on-4. You do Judgment Day versus Edge, AJ Styles, Rey Mysterio, and Beth Phoenix.
Well, you don't think Ray and Dom are going to have a singles match?
That will probably be the element that goes on to the end of the year. But I'm just saying the Edge portion of this Judgment Day feud needs to. You got 2 more pay-per-views to wrap this up after this finish.
Yeah.
All right. Finally, the main event of the evening, the first ever fight pit match on the main roster. Matt Riddle going one-on-one with Seth Rollins. Gotta mention, of course, Seth Rollins' great RVD cosplay.
He said Seth freaking Rollins. I'm like, stop it.
Great stuff. These two have been fighting for months, making it very personal. Daniel Cormier was the special guest referee. He got involved early, telling both men not to touch him after he got hit by both men during the early portion of the matchup. I will say just the aesthetic of the fight pit just looked intimidating. It looked like something that was worthy of the main event spot. We got Seth. He took advantage of DC distracting Riddle and got the advantage. He climbed to the top of the cage and did a RVDS 5-star frost splash at one point. They fought to the top of the platform where Seth got the pedigree, and DC said, I'm not going up there. You got to come into the ring to win the match. So then Rollins got caught with the RKO. He fell into the ring, and Riddle hits the Broton off the platform to Seth. Great shot here of Riddle standing over, and then the dive for the Broton. And then finally, Riddle locked on a triangle choke. Seth tried desperately to get out of it, power bombing, rampage bombing Riddle around the ring, but eventually he was forced to tap out in just under 17 minutes. I thought that this was unique to the rest of the card, but kind of felt flat in comparison to the other matches on the card, where I thought this should be the main event, but in retrospect, it probably should have been the opener. But overall, I gave it 3 3/4 stars. What did you give it?
I'll be honest, I was disappointed. To your point, to my point, I thought the world title, Bianca versus Bayley, should have main evented. But if anything was going to main event, I thought it should be this. Seth has given us literally bangers all fucking year. He's been on it. This, for me, to your point, fell flat. I gave this 3 stars, actually. I was not that... I like the fight pit idea. I hope they keep it around and do it randomly. I don't know. There was a lot more character work, I feel like, in the other ones. There's a lot more storytelling in the other ones. Riddle has lost twice.
No,
so I think
he lost the first ever fight pit against Thatcher. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Against Timothy Thatcher, he lost.
No. With Seth, has he lost?
Oh, with Seth, he lost at Clash. He
lost on TV, I think once.
No, not in this feud. I think earlier this year when he was in Arcade Bro. Yeah.
So obviously Seth has a win. Riddle has a win in this feud. I'm assuming there's gonna be one more, probably at Crown Jewel. Yes, I'm over it. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this because I think I had high expectations and it fell flat. Like, and to me, there were better matches on the card. To me, Bayley and Bianca was better. To me, obviously, the 6-man tag in the beginning was better. And the ending of Finn and Edge was better. I don't know. And it seemed rushed. I don't know if they were rushing to kind of get Bray in. I don't know.
The finish
I was
definitely,
disappointed.
felt rushed. It did not
Someone
feel
said
like
they
it was
thought
the
maybe
finish.
someone was injured after that spot where he jumped off. They feel.
I mean,
I don't know who. They
I
said they
wouldn't be
felt something.
surprised if Seth had cracked ribs.
Right. No, seriously. Like that looked horrific. I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of looking at the chat because I don't know. I'm trying to see their thoughts. I don't have much to say other than I was disappointed.
Yeah.
I feel like there's been a high bar set. Their build to this was fantastic. Fantastic. So I think that's the other thing. I was really invested in what was going to happen here, and I feel like it fell flat. The storytelling part fell flat to me.
You know what was the thing for me is it never felt like the feud. It felt like they were just having a wrestling match.
Just having a wrestling match in a cage. Yeah.
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 It didn't feel like they have a personal rivalry. This is where sometimes WWE needs to kind of be relaxed and be like, hey, yo, Seth, if you want to do a real, cut job on your head, you want to go hard way with the blood, I think that would add something to this matchup. And that's what I really felt like at middle of this matchup. I was like, this match I feel would be a lot better if one of them were bleeding.
Not even that. Even if there's not blood, I almost felt like if you hate somebody that much, they should have been all out brawling. I mean, tape on the hands, brawling, like just pulling hair, like pissed, like just doing anything you can to hurt the other person because it was missing that the intensity of the build and the hatred that you kind of felt from all that. It was missing that for me. It was more like, let's do a match in this cage and cool. Like I just, it was missing the intensity and the grittiness. I feel like a fight pit should have had in general, but the grittiness that this feud should have had in this match. We talked about how with Bianca in the matches, it matters the way they make her look. She looked monstrous. In this match, it mattered how both of them looked, how they played off each other. I felt like the anger and the pissed offness just was not there. Just was not there. I feel like they were both kind of in their head a bit. Because it is a fight pit match, it's a little different. Seth, in particular, loves to work off ropes. Seth loves working off ropes. He didn't have that. So, because even in Hell in a Cell, you still have the ropes there, right? So it's just one of those things where it's like he didn't have that, and I don't know if that played a part at all. But and it wasn't bad, guys. Do not get me wrong. It's just it fell flat because I think for what they built up for this between the two of them, it just felt like a weird blow off. Like it wasn't what I was expecting, I guess. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, I give it 3 stars.
Annika says, well, the MMA fight pit was probably too UFC-ish to be a blood feud ending matchup. They could have made it that by like rushing each other at the start, or it kind of felt like they were doing a lockup after a blood feud because of they were like slow to kind of get going. And it was just like, do you guys really want to get your hands on each other?
Well, Matt kept trying to do like takedowns, which I'm like, cool. Like he was trying to make it seem more that's the MMA part, right? Like the takedowns and stuff. But if you hate each other and you're finally able to get your hands on each other, you start brawling the fuck out, and then you back up and go, all right, I gotta be smart about this, right? Like there were ways to do this. Like I feel like they should have blown out the gates, going at each other like crazy, and then backing up and being like, all right, or Daniel Cormier or whatever his name is would have been like, all right, hey, like take a moment, right? And then you start the takedowns and the technical stuff. But we never got to that I fucking hate you point. And I think that's what was missing.
Agreed. So that brings us to a close on WWE Extreme Rules. Extreme Rules. Remember, Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules.
Let us know.
If you were late on, we opened the show with Bray Wyatt, just so you know. So we're not like leaving and not talking about Bray Wyatt. We started with that elephant in the room because let's fucking admit it's the best thing that happened in the whole show.
Exactly.
So if you missed it, once this is posted, you can go back and check out everything we had to say about Bray. And then we start talking about the matches after.
Exactly.
I just want to put that out there because I know some people came in late.
Yes, thank you for pointing that out because I was gonna forget to. But let us know in the live chat your match of the night, MVP, LVP. You can also let us know in the comments down below. Alex, I'm calling you Alex. Steph, let's put our thumbs in the middle for WWE Extreme Rules 2022 in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up from both of us out of 10. What did you give the show, Steph?
This show for me, I'm gonna say 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. I'm gonna go 8 out of 10. I think on the wrestling alone, I would have gave it a 7 out of 10, but Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, I kept going back between 7 and 8. To be honest with you, I was like, because that's fair. That's fair.
7 out of. So if it was just the wrestling on this show, 7 out of 10 because I had a lot of nitpicks about a lot of different things, but Bray Wyatt bumps it up to an 8 out of 10. MVP for the show, Steph.
Bray Wyatt.
I was about to say it. I think it's pretty obvious.
I mean, if we're talking about wrestling, if we're talking about the matches, I am going to say Bianca because she looked like a fucking monster. She is maybe MVP for the matches. Over the show or the overall, it's Bray Wyatt. MVP.
Yeah, I was gonna say co-MVP for Bray Wyatt and Bianca Belair because I thought that this would have been the perfect time to do the Bianca Belair, title loss, but you instead made her look as strong as she's ever looked. So gotta give her some shine for that. LVP on that note, LVP Bayley, because I don't know what y'all are doing anymore. I'm officially at the point of no return. Y'all got to make this better immediately. Bayley deserves better. Steph?
LVP, I'm going to say Liv Morgan.
That's another good one.
I mean, Ronda, out of the two of them, Ronda looked better in the match, and she's not the pro wrestler, so.
True. You might have convinced me. I might have to give a co-LVP as well for Liv Morgan and Bayley. Liv Morgan and Bayley for me. And match of the night, I'm gonna go with the opener, the Donnybrook match with Imperium and the Brawling Brutes. What about you, Steph?
I gotta go with my girls. I mean, they showed out in that ladder match. I'm so proud of them. Bayley and Bianca is my match of the night for sure.
Fair.
No, you know what? No, I'm gonna pull you. I have co-match of the night.
Yeah,
it's going to be Bayley and Bianca and the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium because those are the matches I enjoyed the most. I absolutely love them both for different reasons. They both delivered to me. The ending of Bayley and Bianca, it's questionable. I get it. It depends on where they're going, but I really did like both those matches. So I have co-match of the nights. Yay!
That is fair. Steph, thank you so much for joining me here. Let the people know where they could find you on social media and anything else you got going on.
I don't have much going on, folks, except everything. No, you can find me on Twitter at Stephanie Hypes. You can find me on Sundays, typically when there's no pay-per-views on Saturday. Serving Face and Hills on Sunday mornings. And with Miss Krssi, who's not here today. I have the lovely SP. Where are you at? The lovely SP here today. Who's usually in the background on Sundays, so it's good to see his face. You can find me on Twitter mostly. Instagram, Stephanie Hypes with 2 S's. I don't do that much on there, so just come on Twitter.
Fair. Yeah. That is fair. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TrueHillHeat. Patreon.com/TrueHillHeat. We had our prediction championship selections for Extreme Rules. You could check out the results of that. We'll be posting it up later. And we'll also have a preview for New Japan Pro Wrestling Declaration of Power on Patreon later today. That show is going to be tomorrow morning. And Twitch.tv/TrueHillHeat Wrestling. Go over and check out Dark Power and the rest of the content over there, and ProWrestlingTees.com/True Heels for your True Hill Heat merchandise. Check out out my interview with Jessica Sick because she's sick, as we talked about Impact Wrestling, her character change, and more. Check out True Hill Heat 196 from yesterday with myself, Miss Krssi Love, and special guest Graham of the Public Enemies podcast, one of our funniest episodes in quite some time. And check out last night's Extreme Rules watch along with Romeo and the gang. So want to thank Steph once again. So for Stephanie Hypes, for all of you joining us, it is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. This has been our WWE Extreme Rules 2022 Roundtable Review. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.